What's up guys, my name's Brandon and today we're going to be doing a speed test between the iPhone 7 and the brand new 2020 iPhone SE. So I ran a poll in the community tab on my YouTube channel here to see what was the most popular device people were upgrading to the iPhone SE from, and the most popular one, the one that got the most votes in that poll, was the iPhone 7. So I wanted to do my first speed test between these two devices to see just how much faster the iPhone SE is than the iPhone 7. So we're going to be testing out the app launching speeds, the gaming, the web browsing, the Wi-Fi speeds, boot up speeds, and more. And as always, before we get into the speed test, let's go ahead and lay out the specs for both devices to see what we're working with. So over here on the left, of course, you can tell by the white bezel, we have the iPhone 7, which has Apple's A10 Fusion chip and 2 GB of RAM. And then over here on the right-hand side, we have the 2020 iPhone SE, which has Apple's A13 Bionic chip and 3 GB of RAM. So we have 3 generations newer on the chip and then 1 additional gigabyte of RAM on the iPhone SE. So let's see how much of that actually translates to real world usage and speed. And as you can see, both devices are currently on the latest iOS version, iOS 13.4.1. So the first thing we're going to do is actually a boot up test. So we're going to go ahead and shut down both of these devices to see which one can boot up faster. All right, so both are completely shut down. Let's go ahead and boot up in 3, 2, 1. Pressing and holding the power button at the exact same time on both. And it looked like we got the Apple logo first on the iPhone 7. So let's go ahead and see which one boots up faster. Historically here on my channel, it seems like the older devices usually boot up faster for whatever reason than the newer devices, but we'll see if that's still the case here with the 7 versus the SE. And yes, the 7 beat the iPhone SE in the boot up test by a couple of seconds. And of course, getting into the iPhone is going to be the exact same on both just because we have 2nd generation Touch ID for both. So there's really not going to be any difference at all in terms of getting into the device via Touch ID. The A13 Bionic chip does not offer any benefits over the A10 with Touch ID. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the app launching test. So as you can see, both devices are completely closed out of all applications. We also have pretty much the same apps on both devices. So this should be a pretty fair test. So let's go ahead and start off with some social media apps, some things that you would use on a day-to-day basis. So let's go ahead and start with Twitter in 3, 2, 1. Press at the same time here. And it looked like the iPhone 7 actually won there, surprisingly. Let's go ahead and try Instagram. Press at the exact same time, and the iPhone SE definitely won there over the iPhone 7. Let's go ahead into YouTube. And YouTube looks like it's going to go to the iPhone SE. Let's go into Amazon. Amazon looks like it's going to be the iPhone SE as well. Let's open up Siri shortcuts in 3, 2, 1. And shortcuts loaded up first on the SE. We got that same prompt there on the SE. Let's go into the App Store. App Store loaded up first on the SE. Let's go over to the Games tab right here. Again, the SE loading up clearly faster than the iPhone 7. Same with the app section here. Let's go into Twitter now. Let me do what I usually always do, which is a test of the share sheet here. And we're going to go to my iPhone SE giveaway tweet right here, which if you have not entered that, by the way, you can go ahead and enter that. Go to my Twitter right here. Anyways, we're going to go to the share sheet here. So 3, 2, 1, and it launches that at the same time. Let's go to share tweet via. And the iPhone SE popped up faster than the iPhone 7. I do like to always test that just to see more practicality wise and things that you actually do on a day-to-day basis, how much faster the newer phone is than the previous generation phones. So we're going to open up 2 more applications and then move on to some gaming tests. Let's go ahead and open up Reddit. Reddit looks like it opens up first on the iPhone SE. It loaded up everything before the iPhone 7 there. Let's go into ESPN, press at the same time there. And ESPN loads up first on the iPhone SE by a pretty good margin here. As you can see, it played the video and everything. We're still waiting on the ad and the video to start there. And yes, the iPhone SE clearly won. All right, so we saw that the iPhone SE is faster to launch and load up applications like your social media apps, your web-based apps like ESPN and things like that. But it may not have been as big of a difference as you may have hoped coming from the iPhone 7. So let's move on to gaming, where that difference will probably be a little bit more apparent. So we're going to start off with Call of Duty Mobile in 3, 2, 1. Press at the exact same time there. Let's see which one loads up COD Mobile first. It looks pretty close right off the bat, but the iPhone SE is of course in the lead here, and we are going to be logging in on both. The iPhone SE is clearly in front right now. And yes, the iPhone SE won even being logged in. So we weren't logged in on the iPhone 7 and the iPhone SE still won. So now let's move on to another pretty intensive game in PUBG Mobile. So let's go ahead and launch that in 3, 2, 1. press at the exact same time here, and we are logged in on both devices, so it should be a very even test. And the iPhone SE off to a great start, beating the iPhone 7 here, and we are almost fully loaded. And yes, we are fully loaded on the SE, like at least 5 seconds in front of the iPhone 7 there. So let's go ahead and start a game and see if there's any difference in terms of lag and frame drops and things like that. So we know that the iPhone SE is going to be better in terms of gaming. That A13 Bionic chip and the GPU that comes with it is going to be far better than the iPhone 7's A10 Fusion chip. So gaming is going to be much better on the SE, but in terms of actual seeing frame drops and things like that, I've only seen a few frame drops on the iPhone 7 and none on the iPhone SE, but I figured I would see more than that. But of course, it will depend on your settings and things like that. And I will wait until we get into the actual game here as well, so I can test out some things. And you can see a difference in the settings here for the graphics. On the iPhone 7, you can only do frame rate up to high, but on the iPhone SE, you could do high, ultra, and extreme. So you can also do Ultra HD on both, but the frame rate is going to be a lot better, and the options you have are a lot better on the iPhone SE. So your overall gaming experience is going to be better, clearly, on the iPhone SE over the iPhone 7. And like I mentioned, you will notice frame drops on the iPhone 7, whereas on the iPhone SE, I've really not seen any frames drop, and if I have, it's only been like 1 or 2 in intense situations. So overall, the iPhone SE again is going to be better for gaming. Let's go ahead and launch another application here to see how much faster the iPhone SE is over the iPhone 7. So let's go ahead into good old Subway Surfers in 3, 2, 1. Press at the same time there. This is a lot less intensive game, so it should be quick to load. And it looks like the iPhone 7 is actually in front. So the iPhone 7 actually beat the iPhone SE there. Very, very interesting. All right, so now let's move on to a video exporting test. So this is a 7-minute 4K video that we're going to export on both devices to see which one actually exports this faster and just how much faster. So you can see the settings here for the export. We are going to export this in 4K at 30 FPS and the video quality at quality, which is 75 megabytes per second. So let's go ahead and press export at the same time here in 3, 2, 1. And you can see we are writing the movie now on both, and I will be back once one of these finishes or gets close to finishing. All right, so we are coming down to the home stretch here, and take a look at this. The iPhone 7 is actually beating out the iPhone SE in this video export test in LumaFusion. So it's a 4K video exporting test in LumaFusion, and there we go. It fully saved, and at least 5 to 10 seconds behind is the iPhone SE. So very interesting result there. And then I just wanted to do a quick camera test. I like to see how fast they could switch from photo to video. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, it loads up first on the SE in terms of getting ready to shoot a video, whereas the iPhone 7 is like a second behind in terms of when you can actually press the shutter and start shooting a video or a photo. And now let's go ahead and do the RAM test. So we do have 1 additional gigabyte of RAM, so 3 gigabytes on the SE versus 2 on the iPhone 7. So let's go ahead and see if that makes a difference. We're going to load up all of these applications that we already loaded up to see if we get any type of reload on either. And it's not looking like we are on any of these social media apps, which is a good sign. And it looked like there was a little bit of a lag there on the iPhone 7, but nothing there. So we're loading up everything and still no reloads for anything. Let's go into the games. This is where we might see a reload on one or both. And it looks like we have a full reload on Call of Duty on both. As far as PUBG goes, PUBG looks like it's also a full reload on both. Very interesting. Subway Surfers. And a relaunch on the iPhone SE, but not on the iPhone 7. Wow. That is very interesting. So let's go into LumaFusion. We were just in there. And wow, another relaunch on the iPhone SE. Didn't look like it was a full relaunch, but it definitely did relaunch. And the iPhone 7 did not. It picked up right where it left off. So wow, I do not know what's causing this, but the iPhone 7 is outperforming the iPhone SE in the RAM test. Let's go into shortcuts. Shortcuts, no relaunch there. And then into the camera, and nothing in the camera. We did load up first on the SE though, but wow. That is very interesting. The iPhone 7, super capable, but once again, I will mention that it is very hot right now. It is like burning my hand hot, whereas the iPhone SE is barely even warm. So just something to take into account. And now I want to do a quick web browsing test to see which one is faster at loading up web pages. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with TechCrunch in 3, 2, 1. And it looks like TechCrunch loads up first on the iPhone SE by a pretty good margin here over the iPhone 7. Yes, like 4 or 5 seconds at least. So let's go ahead over to, let's do Product Hunt. There it is in 3, 2, 1. Product Hunt loads up first on the iPhone SE once again, and the iPhone 7 a few seconds behind. Let's go ahead to apple.com in 3, 2, 1. Apple loads up super fast on the iPhone SE and a few seconds behind on the iPhone 7. And then finally, let's do bleacherreport.com in 3, 2, 1. And Bleacher Report is first on the iPhone SE as well. So pretty noticeable difference there in terms of web browsing speeds on the SE over the iPhone 7. And then lastly, I wanted to run a quick Wi-Fi speed test inside of Safari here. So we're gonna run it first on the iPhone 7, and then once that's done, we will run the same Wi-Fi speed test on the iPhone SE to see if there's any difference in terms of Wi-Fi speeds. So you can see our speeds there on the iPhone 7 are 78.8 and then 82.0. So let's see if we have any difference here on the iPhone SE. And you can see there we do get a faster download speed with 96, but our upload speed looks like it is going to be a little bit slower. Yes, 44.2 versus 82, so half the upload speed, but a little bit faster on the download speed. So pretty interesting test there. And since I know people always want to see the GeekBench scores, I will run a quick GeekBench 5 test right here on both devices. So they both finished at exactly the same time, but you can see the difference in scores there is pretty noticeable. So a 767 versus a 1326 in single core, and 1408 versus 2370 in the multi-core. So of course that multi-core is going to really show and shine with gaming. So we did see gaming obviously thrive on the iPhone SE over the iPhone 7, but in terms of a lot of other things, it was very close, and especially the RAM. That was super surprising. So hope you guys did enjoy the speed test. Let me know your thoughts about it. Was it surprising to you? Do you have an iPhone 7? Are you keeping your iPhone 7? Or did you update from the iPhone 8? Let me know all your thoughts about everything down in the comment section below. And of course, don't forget to enter into the iPhone SE giveaway. And also make sure you guys do subscribe, because I will be doing more speed tests with the iPhone SE versus the iPhone 11, the SE, the 10R, a lot of other phones here on the channel as well. So make sure you are subscribed with that bell notification clicked so you are notified when those videos go live. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.